I'll call the meeting to order of the Charter Review Commission.
I'll take roll call. Charter Revision Commission members Aguilar, Entenmann, Paulides, sorry. Smith? Here. Timian?
Here. And my condolences to Sue Aguilar on the loss in her family. We wish her well, and we'll look forward to having her back in the future. So on the introduction, I think we all know each other. Do we need to say anything more? Okay. Organization. Normally on our first meeting, we will get a chair and vice chair. Currently, I have been chair and Sue Aguilar has been vice chair. Any interest from anyone else?
Mr. Chair, I would move to name Bob Timian as chair of the Sioux Falls Charter Revision Commission.
I second that.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Motion carries.
Opposed? Any opposed?
Anyone opposed? Okay. And for vice chair? Motion carries. For vice chair?
Are you looking for a second?
Yeah, for someone if someone wants to nominate someone, like Sue.
Nominate Sue, continue as vice chair. I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or any other nominations? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. So we have a chair and vice chair. And as we look at this, we'll be meeting with the goal that to review the city charter that was voted on by the people in Sioux Falls in September of 1994. So it's now been 23 years that it's been there, and to take a look at it and to see if there's anything that we would recommend to take forward as far as a ballot next April to see if the charter should be reviewed. So the business before us, what we did the last 2 years is broke the charter into 3 sections and handled a third of the charter each of 3 meetings and went through it in order, came up with ideas, and then at the end came up with suggestions and rankings as to how we would see which ones we would recommend, and then go through the city and have that be on the ballot in the spring. And I think last year our batting average, our success rate was fairly good. We had how many?
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, the
sorry
memory isn't as good
Sorry about
anymore.
going back into the details.
2016.
I think they were all fairly perfunctory.
We had
Okay.
6 proposals.
Yeah.
Did all of them pass?
That'd be a good batting average.
I think we had 6 proposals and they all passed, I believe.
6 for 6?
Yeah, I think we were 6 for 6.
That's decent. Okay. So I think then we were able to do things. I think they were all clarifications, but it made sense to people as to what was there, and so I think that's good. So if we look at that, if we were to look at doing it in 3 meetings and then a wrap-up meeting. So this is our kickoff. We would do 3 meetings of a third of the charter each meeting, and then a wrap-up meeting. So before a series of 4 meetings. And are there dates that would work for people?
When would be the final meeting when we have to decide, make the final decision? February, March, January?
If I may, I think it's early January. I think we've tried around the January 10th timeframe.
But the January 10th would be our wrap-up meeting, somewhere around there.
And I know Justin has legislative session, so we would, for his schedule also, would prefer, I think, to wrap it up by then also. But yeah, we need to get it with that report to the council and then give the clerk, and the city clerk is in the audience, by the way, for those watching at home. I think we need to, yeah, I think our time frame is always that by the end of that second week of January, we'd want to be wrapped up if any proposals are going to be forthcoming.
Mr. Chair, I would propose our next meeting be held Tuesday, November 7, would be about a month out, and again on a Tuesday.
Pardon me, you don't want to do Tuesdays, those are council meeting days. They'd start at 4 in the afternoon.
Usually we've aimed for Wednesdays.
Would Wednesday, November 8th work?
For me. Wednesday, November 15.
Wednesday, November 15? And when would you propose following that?
Wednesday, December 6.
Just an FYI for Wednesday, December 6th, there is Planning Commission meeting that night at 6 o'clock in the chambers.
But I think we've normally been done.
If you're,
Yeah, you try
you
to wrap it
anticipate
up
you'll
by
be done.
5.
Okay.
20th? Want to squeeze that third one in before
Would
January?
December 20th work for people?
It does, and Mr. Chair, if we wanted to, we could try and squeeze a second one in yet this month if we didn't want to push it that late in December. Maybe Wednesday, October 25.
Yeah, Carrie and I will be at an ethics board meeting that afternoon. Sorry.
Would we be ready to do one as soon as Wednesday, October 18?
I'm not available that week.
How about November 1st?
As long as you're done before the planning, or no, it's planning, it'd be that November 1, wouldn't it, Tamara?
Yeah, it's 6
That first
o'clock.
Wednesday?
That's
Yeah.
a 6 o'clock one, too.
Okay, but we'll be done.
Yeah, we'd be done.
I think normally the longest we've ever gone is an hour and a half. So the dates we'll be looking at is November 1st, November 15th, December 6th, and December 20th. Well, but then we've got two, I think
Got one too many there.
we've got too many in there.
Well, we need to allow for anything brought by the council or the public also.
But we'll do that at each meeting.
And then I should mention for the benefit of the commission, the legislative session starts January 8. So for my schedule, if we could hold the final meeting by January 3rd, that will be helpful.
To make that wrap-up session on January 3rd.
So we could look at that on the, there's a possibility we could wrap up on the 20th, but if we needed the 3rd, we could do it. Okay. So the dates would be November 1st, November 15th, December 6th, December 20th, January 3rd. Does that work for everyone?
Yes.
And for the record, the start time of,
4 p.m.? Does that work for everyone? So then the next item we have, we have on the agenda is consideration of when to extend invitations for input to the mayor, city council members, city directors, and others. And it could be that we make that an open invitation that on any of they know which the charter sections will be doing, so that we'll be doing the first 3 on the 1st, 4 through 6 on the 15th, and the last third on the 6th. Are there 9 sections? Yes. Okay. So 1 through 3, 4 through 6, and 7 through 9, and then there's the wrap-up on the 20th. And I think if there's any of those sections that they would like to comment on, invite them to do it so we can have the discussion on those. And I think that would be the mayor, city council members, directors. On the others, what someone had mentioned to me is, have we ever considered talking with the people who who pushed for the charter back in '93, and what they had for a vision and where it is now, and just see how things line up. I'm just putting it out there. If we, at one of the meetings, if we wanted to invite them. I don't know if they would come, but.
I think so.
Pardon?
I think they would.
You think they would?
Yes.
Oh.
I can guarantee Mr. Chairman, one is already in attendance. She's sitting right
I
there.
co-chaired it
Oh,
with Bill Peterson.
I didn't realize the brain trust is already here.
I need to rethink that chairman, but not.
Yeah. Well, that was quite a document you came up with 23 years ago. So I think what I'll do is how about could we, I imagine you know who was all on that committee then. If you want to reach out with them with our dates and to see if there's a time that
Sure.
they would, but it'd be nice to have them all at the same time rather than coming sporadically. And I think we could get them on the agenda.
Sure. Okay.
The other item is, the first year we did it, we were entertained with a live reading of the charter. And last year, we assigned it and said, please read it before the meeting, and then we did questions. Which method would you prefer doing? Are you fine with reading and commenting rather than having it read to us? Yes. Okay, so that will be our methodology. I think it goes a lot quicker, but we can all go through it on that as to how we'll go. And then I guess our ground rules as when we have a vote. Do we need to have 4 votes or 3 votes out of the 5? I don't think that's been an issue, but do we need a majority or a supermajority? What would your preference be?
Reading it ahead of time.
Okay, reading ahead of time, but how about when we do a vote? For something to pass, do we need 3 votes or 4 votes out of the 5 of us? I guess I'm almost thinking that if it's going to go on with our recommendation to go forward with the ballot issue, 4 out of 5 would be nice.
I would agree with that
Okay.
Agreed.
for the final.
So we need 4 out of 5 to put on the ballot, or to recommend taking it forward as a ballot item. Okay? Oh, and my apologies, I was out of order here on the agenda. Our meeting dates, November 1st, 15th, 6th, and 20th are there. And this is the time of the meeting we come to for public input. If you could, please line up in order so that you have a progression. Speakers, anyone who would like to do public input? Seeing none, we'll pass on that one. Is there anything else that should be discussed at this meeting?
Mr. Chair, personal privilege, I would like to extend my thanks to Dave Fifley for his service as counsel, not just for the City of Sioux Falls, but also his excellent advice to the Sioux Falls Charter Revision Commission since I've been on it, since 2015, and wish him all the best in his upcoming endeavor.
Thank you very much, and I've said repeatedly, the citizen board volunteers are my favorite clients, and I mean that. You're giving of your time and talent here, and we appreciate all your input and your expertise, and it's been an honor to serve as your legal advisor, and the other 7 attorneys in my office are all smarter than I am. You will be well served by whoever sits in this chair next time, so I won't be a stranger in the future. It'll just be more of on a social level rather than a professional level. But thank you for all you do for our city, and it's been an honor.
I would like to echo that and say thank you. You've given us excellent advice and counsel, and you're to be commended that you're going to continue with service to the public, and the people of South Dakota are going to be well served by you. So thank you, and we wish you well. And how could we? I think applause is in order. So, anything else to come before this board? Hearing none, meeting adjourned.